Hello friends, welcome. I'm glad you're here for another adventure. Well, our next stop today is an old cemetery. It was a cemetery that actually I can't find. I stopped at this little business back here. They let me park the van to look for it. They had never heard of it, but I found it through a friend of a friend asking some unique places around Nashville. Let's see if we can find this place. Well, a nice young couple working on this house over here showed me where the cemetery was. If you're driving down Lischey Road, you want to look for this sign right here. It's a good pull-off spot. And then on the other side of this house, right back there where that little brick wall is where the cemetery is. It's not a very big cemetery. Okay. This one scared me to death. Jumped right out of this grave when I walked up. Oh boy. Those that are buried in this cemetery are from the War of 1812. This is a very old cemetery, clearly long before the Civil War. The gravestones here have been well taken care of, actually, because some of the pictures I saw online were from prior to 10 years ago. This whole area was completely grown over. No one even knew it was here. So somebody discovered it again and cleaned it all up. And some of these stones have seen some weather. They need a little bit more, or maybe a new rejuvenation, but this is a really cool cemetery. The property that this sits on was owned by General William White III. Here he rests. (1832). General White was not a very large person, it appears. This is a pretty small coffin. They're both very small. I know people were smaller then, but it's very small. Miss Mary. Mrs. Mary. This is a really interesting one. This woman's name was America. I guess it could have been a guy, but I'll just assume. America. Bowman. America W. Bowman. Died 1869. The walls are cool. I assume that they've been here maybe since the beginning of the cemetery, but maybe not. Still very old. Cool surround for this sacred place. I especially love checking out the grave sites of the founders of our country, people that fought and died for us, even back in 1812. The Revolutionary War, Civil War, of course. Love all that history, but I really appreciate that these people that are not so distant past did a lot to get us where we're at. These cemeteries are a really nice, peaceful place to reflect on that and give some thanks. If you want to find Nashville's lost cemetery yourself, I'll put the GPS coordinates below in the description so you can come out here and check it out. Pay your own respects. That cemetery was awesome. It's really cool of these people, whoever they are, to let me park the Fantasy here for a little bit. Now it's on to get some hot chicken. I got a recent new addiction to this hot chicken stuff. Ooh, it's good stuff. Well, hey friends, I was editing this video, and as I was looking up some information to find some backstory on William White and some of the others that were buried in the White Ogden graveyard, I came across some interesting information. There's a really cool website called Find a Grave, and many graves across the country, you can type in the name and the death date, and it will have some information about the families, and you can go deeper and deeper at that. I'll put a link to that website right below. But I also found a website that was pretty detailed about William White and his family and why he owned the property and some of the backstory that I didn't know before we visited this cemetery. I found out that William White, was a really awesome guy. He was a true patriot. And something interesting about him was he was friends with some very notable people, and at one point got in a duel. He survived. He lost the duel, but he was shot in the leg or in the groin and survived. But he eventually died of some unknown illness, something like the flu, but they're not sure what it was. It took him out in a couple days. But he was an awesome guy. And it turns out the White Ogden family was in relation to General White's wife. Her other husband, I think this is how it goes, something that they were, he was in Ogden, and the White family both combined forces and lived on the property, and we're all buried there. So very interesting find. A lot of history there. If you'd like to go check out some of the other graves that are in that cemetery, there's a whole list of those graves in this other link that I'll put below. Everyone who's buried there, and then you can research and find some other interesting information about each one of those people if you'd like. Thanks for joining me today, friends. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video.